Hey, Nelson, alcoholic addict. That's not my real name. I use a pen name here at LOL Sober. Uh, I watched a UFC pay-per-view on Saturday night, and it was great. There was a heavyweight who got a knockout, and he's just a wild man. And so he has this celebration that he does after his wins. He calls it a shoey, and it's where he grabs a random shoe from somebody in the crowd, pours a beer into it, and then drinks the beer from the shoe. Um, it is every bit as gross as it sounds. And on Saturday night, as he walked through the crowd afterward, he asked multiple fans to hand him their shoes and pour beers into them. And he drank it all, probably 3, 4, 5 times on his way just to leave the arena. And there was one shoe that a guy handed him, and he poured beer into it, and then he poured probably 3 or 4 ounces of a hot sauce into it too. And the dude just drank the whole thing, and you could see it hit him that was not just beer. And as I watched it, I was laughing hysterically. It was really funny and celebratory, but I was also cringing because it was so gross. And yet, my God, how many times did I do things worse than that in my active addiction days? And I started thinking about a few examples, and the list was crazy long. Like, I remember one time I picked 10 painkillers out of my own puke, and I ate the painkillers again. I remember I puked in dozens of public bathrooms, just burying my face in a toilet bowl that had God knows what else in there. I remember one time I tried sniffing a crushed up Vicodin in a McDonald's bathroom once, and I didn't even think, like, oh, hey, most pills are made out of predominantly chalk. And so I ended up just snotting out this powdery snot for the next 2 hours. And it looked like I devoured a chalkboard from elementary school or something. I also many times, probably 10 times, while I was driving home from New York City, I would be stuck on roads where there was no bathrooms, no rest areas. And I would just projectile vomit because I was overdosing in the car. And I just remember I'd get puke all over myself. I'd have to walk in the house. My wife would be like, what the hell happened? And I'd have to come up with some scam. And then, as you can probably imagine, I was not in the best shape to clean up my car properly afterwards. So, I would scoop up all the puke with napkins. But, that wasn't really clean. So it was just really, really gross. I remember one time in college, we bought a bunch of 6-packs of Rolling Rock, and one of the 6-packs was skunked beer. And my roommates were going to throw it out. I was like, what are you doing? You can't throw that out. And so I drank these 6 beers, and at the end, it was, 6 skunk beers. I just remember, the taste in my mouth, and, I even felt like it was coming out of my pores. It just seemed like I murdered a skunk and then made soup out of it and ate the soup. It was just, I could keep going and going and going. I don't think I ever actually drank beer out of a random person's shoes, but I can't imagine I'd have turned that down back in the day. I would have tried it if somebody handed it to me. I'm just so glad I don't have to live like that anymore. As I watched that scene on Saturday night, I also thought about a few years ago, I got invited to a friend's house for a big boxing event late at night, and I went over and a bunch of people were playing beer pong in the kitchen. And I played beer pong so many times, I never sat down and thought about how freaking gross beer pong is. It's like all of these red Solo cups filled with gross beer sitting out. God knows who drank out of the cups already. And then you're bouncing a ping pong ball that you don't know where it came from. You're bouncing it into the cup, and then if you have to drink it, and then the only way to clean the ball is somebody warms up some water in another cup and you dunk the ball in it. The ball's landed on the floor, people's hands. I mean, it's just so gross. I can't imagine if I went to someone's house and they had delicious iced tea that I really wanted to drink, and they were like, well, let's spread out some cups and we'll throw a old ping pong ball from my basement. We'll bounce it around and then everybody can drink the iced tea from it. I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me right now? So I turned the TV off that night and I just paused to be grateful. I don't have to do absolutely disgusting things anymore. My kids would probably laugh a little bit hearing that because, if I drop a cookie on the floor of my kitchen and it's less than 10 seconds, it's the 10-second rule. It's fine, right? So I will pick up the chocolate chip cookie and eat that. So I can't pretend that I'm exactly a clean freak. But hey, at least I'm not at the mall asking some guy for his boot and pouring beer into it and drinking it. So I know that's a pretty low bar, but I will take it. Thanks for letting me share.